He has the wisdom of Solomon. If Donald Trump had any wisdom, he'd have been on the Supreme Court. He is Judge Andrew Napolitano. Nowadays, one of the greatest stars on alternative independent media, and always very generous with our requests for him to join us. Judge Napolitano, Your Honor, thanks again for coming with us. Your own show, Judging Freedom, is an absolute must-see for everyone watching this. So was the State of the Union address last evening. Did the earth move for you?
Well, George, it's always a pleasure to be on with you, my dear friend. I've learned so much from you, both from watching your show and from the times we've spent together, and I look forward to spending time with you very soon when I come across the ocean. I thought that the president was almost out of his mind last night when he said that the Iranians have resumed work on a nuclear weapon that will be capable of reaching Western Europe and the United States. This type of a scare tactic, not based on any facts whatsoever, is reprehensible. Equally as reprehensible is the fact that if you watch the speech, you know that the Democrats didn't applaud for him at all. They only applauded once. And that's when he made that comment about why we need to attack Iran. This tells you that the Zionist donor class owns the government. Even the liberal Democrats who hate Trump, even the people who, if they achieve the majority, and it now appears they will, in the midterm elections, will impeach him every week, or as you suggested, perhaps even every day. Nothing will stop them. However, because they too are beholden to the Zionist donor class in America, they applauded wildly when he said, we must destroy Iran's nuclear capability because they're building something that can reach the United States and Western Europe. They're not. However, if Trump had not ripped up the JPCOA, we would still have inspections going on, even as we speak, by neutral inspectors agreed to by both sides. But of course, we don't have that anymore. What we do have is the testimony of your friend and mine, Tulsi Gabbard, who runs the intelligence community, which has asserted as recently as a year ago, and she stated it under oath, that Iran stopped developing nuclear weapon capability in 2003. That's 16 years ago. When confronted with this statement said under oath, Trump simply stated, I don't care what she said, I believe otherwise. He believes what Netanyahu and the domestic Zionists want him to believe, irrespective of the absence of evidence. So that's my long-winded analysis of the most dangerous part of what he said. Did I watch the whole thing? No, I went to bed before it started. I watched the clips this morning.
It's far from long-winded, Your Honor. It was priceless prose. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I'll ask you anyway, because I'm interested on a human level. Do the people that were listening in the hall, you can't speculate about the people who watched on TV, but the people in the hall who applauded the blatantly false statement that Iran refuses to say the magic words, we will not build nuclear weapons, when in fact they say those very words every single day, including that day in which the president lied about them. Do the people in the hall, do they know this to be a lie and cheer it anyway? Or, I mean, in other words, are they too stupid to be United States Congress members, or are they too wicked?
That's a great question, George, and I'm afraid I don't have an answer. I could speculate. My speculation is that they're wicked, that they know what Iran has stated. And as you know, they've not only stated it verbally, they've stated in writing, a writing which has never been revealed to the press. But these members of Congress, as I said, are bought lock, stock, and barrel by the Zionist donor class. It's not all of them, but it's an overwhelming majority in both houses of Congress, as is Trump himself bought by these very people. I mean, can you imagine if Trump waved a piece of paper last night and says, "This has President Pezeshkian's signature on it, and the magic words are there. Therefore, I've directed that the United States Navy shall come home." Well, Netanyahu would go wild. The Zionist donors would go wild. They would begin attacking Trump. God knows what they'd reveal about his personal life from the Epstein files. It would be ruination for him. So he's really boxed himself into a corner, as one of your callers said, to whom I was listening maybe 10 or 15 minutes ago. If he doesn't attack, he looks weak. If he does attack, he may unleash demons that he can't control, demons that will destroy the state of Israel.
I'm going to come on to demons in a minute, but sticking with Trump and last night, you're absolutely correct that if he had done what you and I wish he had done last night, he would have been in a different kind of trouble. Our friend Max Blumenthal on the show just the other night made the point that he thinks Trump is becoming increasingly anxious about his own personal security. You saw the man shot dead at Mar-a-Lago the other day. There were 2 credible assassination plots against him already, one of which whistled past his ear or even through it, killed a fireman in the stand behind him. There are people out to kill Donald Trump, and that's while he's playing ball with Netanyahu. Can you imagine how dangerous it would be if he were to kick over the traces?
Well, he looked terrible. So I agree with you that he's obviously uncomfortable in his own shoes at this point in his life. Speaking of his shoes, he has this condition in his ankles where they are grossly swollen without any cognizable explanation for it. He has lost some weight, but he just looked terrible last night. I agree with Max. A, Max is one of the smartest people on the planet. B, there is evidence for Trump's fears. His biggest fear, however, should be that his administration will be roundly and soundly rejected by the American public in November. And who can blame them? I mean, he's dispatched his own personal army, which has murdered 3 Americans and injured countless others in the name of arresting immigrants. Their latest stunt is to issue a memo saying even lawful immigrants will be arrested. But this is just crazy. This is just insane. They've lost just about every challenge to their behavior, but they keep it up over and over again. What this has done to his base amongst Hispanics, amongst African Americans, amongst people like me, who's the grandson of immigrants. I don't know if my grandparents came here legally or not. I'm glad they came here. He has lost a tremendous amount of support over that. And I think he knew it, and he did nothing to help himself last night.
No, he was playing to Peoria last night rather than the base, which, as you say, included a remarkable number of Hispanics, remarkable number of African Americans, remarkable progress he made, more than any other Republican has ever done amongst minority ethnic populations. But I know you're pressed for time, Your Honor, so let me go on to the Epstein affair. A man in your position must be following them at least as closely as I am. How do you calibrate the scale of the damage in the US? In Britain, it's the only issue in town. It's bringing down crowned heads. not just in the UK, but across Europe. And cabinet ministers are being arrested. The Prime Minister of Norway just tried to commit suicide after being arrested. Former Prime Minister, I should say. How do you calibrate the damage in the US so far?
I don't believe that the damage in the U.S. has reached its peak yet. Tomorrow's New York Times will report the existence in the Epstein files of a complaint by a young woman who says she was sexually abused and beaten by Trump when she was 13 or 14. And she reported it to the FBI. The FBI investigated this with 4 memoranda, none of which was in the file. I think when this comes out tomorrow, it will stir the pot again. It'll put tremendous pressure on the Department of Political Justice to explain why it failed to comply with a federal statute signed into law by Donald Trump that required that all these things be revealed. It especially said they may not redact because of embarrassment. They can only redact to protect the identity of the victim, already done in this case, or because of an ongoing criminal investigation, which is inconceivable. Epstein's been dead more than 5 years. Great Britain, as you know, has many crimes for which there is no statute of limitations, like misconduct in office, which is why Andrew Mountbatten Windsor can still be prosecuted if he traded important financial information, like when the Bank of England was going to buy and sell gold and at what they were going to buy and sell it in return for sexual favors. No matter when that happened, he could still be prosecuted. Over here, the statute of limitations is 5 years. So no matter what they find in those files, the worst that would happen would be embarrassment or ostracization or impeachment. That can't be prosecution. So the fact that they may use as an excuse, we have an ongoing investigation, that's just a canard. They may have the investigation, but they know it's ongoing nowhere because they can't indict.
It is almost as grave as any allegation could be. A 13 or 14-year-old girl complaining to the FBI that she was sexually abused and that she was raped, because no child of that age can consent to sexual relations. So that she's alleging essentially that she was raped by the current president of the United States. Doesn't get more serious than that. But as you say, his administration have broken their legal obligation to include this with her name redacted, but not his, and have done so for plain and obvious reason. If he's in a corner in the Persian Gulf, he's in a real corner now with the Epstein affair, isn't he? He can't risk leaving office unpardoned. And if Vance became president before the end of Trump's term, and he did pardon Trump, Vance is kissing.
Well, that's the end of Vance's political career.
Goodbye.
Correct. Yeah. That would be the end of Vance's political career. He'd be like Gerald Ford was, just a holdover president with no chance of running at all. He wouldn't even get the Republican nomination to succeed himself. I happen to think his political career is over either way, even if Trump serves the full term, because Trump's presidency is indefensible and Vance has been the principal cheerleader of it.
So the reverse of the question asked in the epic Mel Brooks picture, The Producers, where did it all go wrong, Your Honor?
People trusted a person inherently unworthy of trust, a masterful speaker and demonstrator and performer who knew what buttons to press. History is filled with people like this who swayed the public. How many times did he say, no more foreign wars? How many times did he say, no more regime change? How many times did he say, I'm going to get rid of the neocons? He's now the darling of neocon regime change, if ever there was one. He's going to outdo George W. Bush.
In 90 seconds, Your Honor, does the Democratic Party still exist? I have no idea who their leader is or what their stance is on anything.
Their only unifying factor is a rejection of all things Trump. I don't know if they exist as a party. They appear to be two parties, the sort of John Fitzgerald Kennedy moderate slash conservative rational Democrats and the hard lefties, typified by some names that may be known across the pond, like AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Bernie Sanders. These people, by the way, hate each other as much as they both hate the Republicans. So I don't know who could unify the Republican Party besides their opposition to and hatred of Donald Trump. I don't know what person could reach out to both branches, make sense to both branches, and be their standard bearer in 08, which tells you that they have as many problems as the Republicans do.